And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Smokin Tabacco Show. My name is Matt Tobacco from SmokinTabacco.com. I am joined once again by my good friend, Mr. Jonathan M. Carney. And it's our year in review show. This is our last show of 2020.
Is Nicole on the show with us today? Because normally I don't dial in on the phone and I can't ever see her. Now I'm staring at her. I think she should be on the show with us.
Are you on the show with us?
I am on the show today.
Oh, shit. I didn't even... Well, because that's the thing. She's not always on. Well, and Smokin Nicole is here with us, too. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize she was fully on the show this week.
If we had show notes, we still wouldn't have gotten the information we needed.
I knew this was going to be the new thing. After that happened last week, I'm like, the show notes thing is going to be the new joke, and it's going to go on.
on a side piece, though, I can't hear her, though. I can't hear her.
Oh, he can't hear you. So
he can't hear her.
I'm here. I'm just being quiet.
Oh, there we go.
I'm here.
She's
I'm
very
here,
shy.
Reporting live from Orlando, Florida. I got a nice fire going in the backyard here. I went to Corona Cigars downtown last night. That was a really fun time. I ran into our friend Andy Yaffe from McAuliffe Cigars.
Andy.
He actually gave me one of the small, tiny McAuliffe A's, which you can only get, I guess, by seeing him.
Huh?
Yep.
So that was really cool. So if you've got any ambassadors watching, I got to enjoy that cigar. And it was really nice. Man, this fire is taking off on me.
I was going to say, that fire's starting to grow. You might have to move over, bud.
Wow. But, yeah, so no, what are you all smoking tonight? I'm smoking something really special.
I'm smoking something really special, too. I think you might know this one. And I picked this one for a reason. I wanted to do something that kind of hits close to home for both of us, since it is our last show of 2020. And it's been an amazing year for us. You know, we started the show this year. We've come a long way. We've done a really, really great job at the show. We're really, really off the ground now. And you have been a great friend, and you've been a great part of the show. So I'm celebrating with an Andalusian Bull from La Flor Dominicana.
Nice.
It was fitting.
Okay, well, I don't have as great of an entry as that, but I am smoking the Nova Leo X. Matthew had bought me a box for Christmas, so I just cracked into it. And I am pairing it with another Christmas gift. I have a Blanton's Old Fashioned because Matthew bought me an Old Fashioned making kit from Blanton's. So I have Blanton's bitters and cherries here. And I have these cute little napkins that say "Call me old fashioned" for my little set. So
that's impressive. Well, that's a good setup.
And it's delicious. So
she's really into old fashions, and she likes Blanton's. It's probably one of her favorite bourbons out there right now. And I saw her on the Buffalo Trace website, and I was like, I got to get it for her because she had said to me specifically, "Oh, I like old fashioned kits," and I was like, done. So that was a no-brainer.
Yeah, so instead, I'm getting third degree burns on my leg from the fire, but that's okay. I'm smoking something that's not in the market yet. I'm smoking the Gourmet Smoke Session number 4 of 16. This is for Mom's Cigar Warehouse in Scarsdale, New York. I'm about to light up the El Salud, which we announced last week. It's the Airbender Maduro Chisel with the 2 champagne flutes on there in tobacco art. So this will be available on January 14th through Mom's Cigar Warehouse in Scarsdale, New York. But I'm lighting it up today. I got a few test blends, and this is what I'm going to be smoking pretty much the whole next few days is working through these cigars for the New Year's. And I'm drinking a Stag's Leap Cask 23.
Ooh,
this is their high-end. This is the top line of the Stag's Leap This is their 2017 Cask 23.
Is that
Normally it's stuff you want to let age for a while, like sit on it, but I like drinking wine, so I light it up.
Stag's Leap or is that Stag's Leap Wine Cellars? Just to clarify.
This is Stag's Leap Wine Cellars, which is, I believe, the same one. The website's cask23.com.
Ah, okay. Because I know there's two different Stag's Leaps.
There's more than that, just in that too. Stag's Leap's a district in Napa Valley.
Right.
So it's a district. So there's like Stag's Leap District, and there's Stag's Leap Winery, and then there's Stag's Leap Cellars, or it's confusing. But this is the one, cask23.com.
Yeah, which is only one of the wine clubs that you are in. I'm only in the Gary V Wine Club that you are also a part of. But yeah, the Cask 23 is one that I want to get into in the future. We still have our Gary V Wine Clubs, unless you cracked into yours.
I drank the cab. I'm sorry.
Mm.
I didn't drink the white and I didn't drink the champagne, but I needed red wine on Christmas Eve, so I accidentally got into it. I didn't want to tell you, but I'm going to tell you live here on the air.
Well, that's okay. Now I can just drink mine without having to wait for you, and then we can just compare notes naturally on it. We'll probably crack open the champagne maybe on New Year's, but I know you don't have yours, so I don't know. You can watch from afar, and we'll talk about it.
We got a new shipment coming in January too, so we can always do better with it in January. It was a hectic couple weeks with the holidays and trying to line up, and then trying to manage what you do and don't drink. I don't have a huge wine selection up home, so I was trying to be good, but I got into it. It was very good though. You're gonna love it.
Well, I'm really excited for that. I was just telling Nicole we got to get some more wine in the house. I think we're running low on our reserves. We have a bunch of French wine right now that we got just to sample some new stuff. So we'll probably go through that maybe this weekend. Try some new things. Really expand.
I highly recommend there's this new wine out called Bonanza. It's by Chuck Wagner. He's the winemaker that makes Camus.
Oh yeah.
And I just got a good deal on some cases of Bonanza, so I picked up 2 cases from a friend of mine in the cigar business. For a ridiculously good deal. So I'm going to have some Bonanza.
It and have
it's
had
great,
it.
right?
It's really good. Matthew, though, did not like it. That's the one you didn't like.
No, I thought it was
Bonanza.
No, the Conundrum. It was Conundrum.
No, it was Bonanza too. We had that one.
I didn't have that one.
I'm not a big. The Conundrum has their white blends pretty good. Their red blend doesn't really do it for me for Conundrum, but Bonanza I find pretty good. So I would revisit it, Matthew, if I were you. Even if you don't think you have or you have, revisit it. It's a good wine for the money. It's especially the deal I'm getting. I'm paying for the buck. It's a great deal.
I'll double check it and make sure I try it again. Make sure I had it on. I know I had the Conundrum and I know I didn't like it. It was the red blend. I did not like that. Just wasn't for me. But I will make sure I try the Bonanza. Because I generally like the stuff that comes out of the Camus. There's another one that they make that I think I tried, and it was a Paso Robles, but it was made by Camus, and it was what was it? It was like 1938 or something like that.
I know which one you're talking about, and I haven't had it, but I remember when you mentioned it. Another really good one that comes out of there that Chuck Wagner makes is it's called Schooner. It's called Schooner, and they have different voyages. I think they're on Voyage 8, and it's essentially a Malbec, but it's called Schooner Voyage 8, and they've been doing it now. So I think it's number 8 this time. That's a really good one too, but it's a little pricier.
Yeah,
you're looking at like probably $60 a bottle.
It's funny. There's a wine that I know you like that I recently saw at Costco for I think a very fair price. It was the Austin Hope.
Yeah,
2017 cab, and they were asking. I want to say it was $42.99.
That's pretty reasonable. That's not awful. That's good.
Yeah. I know we've seen it closer to $60 at some of the bigger stores like Total Wine and whatnot.
Well, Total Wine, if they they do that pick 6, right?
Yeah.
If you pick 6, they give you like $20 off a bottle practically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they do have some good deals, but you just got to buy
They want you to buy in bulk. Yeah.
Yeah, which is fine. But I don't know if Austin Hope's part of that or not. But there are some that you can get a really good deal on it if you buy 6 or more bottles.
I actually learned that the secret on that it's the easiest way to tell is any price that ends in a 7, like it's like like 18 and 47 cents. The 7 means it's not part of pick 6, but anything that ends in like 9 or 0, whatever, that's part of pick 6. So
Interesting.
yeah, I didn't know that. One of the ladies tipped me on that the other day, which was interesting. Yeah, a lot of the wines I've been drinking lately have just been Italian reds, specifically when I can find certain ones, Sicilians. I've just had really good luck with everything I've tried lately. One that I really enjoy is the Stamari Pinot Noir from Sicily, and it's roughly around like $15.99 a bottle. The first time we had it was at dinner in the Seaport in Boston at the Tuscan Market. I'm sorry, the Tuscan Kitchen, and it was recommended by the waiter, and I said, yeah, sure, I'll try it, and it was fantastic for what it was. And I actually ended up being able to find it at the Tuscan Market. For those who are in our area in New England, and you know the area, the Tuscan Market in Salem, New Hampshire, the actual market store. John, me and you have been there before, and it's where Nicole actually got that tomahawk that I cooked earlier this week on the live. I think that was over the weekend. But anyway, yeah, I found it there. I haven't been able to find it anywhere else, so I've been really enjoying some of those exclusive Italian wines lately. They've been really good. Haven't been disappointed. But I wanted to bring up something. So this is kind of a special show. May not feel like it, but it is. It's our last show of the year, and this is our first year of the show. And I have to say we've come a long way. This is we talk about it all the time. We talk about the beginnings. Excuse me as I sip on some water here. Yeah, John and I started the show. It started out as something casual. Most of you by now have probably heard of, or at least maybe were there and watched the May Day Eve massacre. And it is something that we're going to do at 2.0. We're going to try and do it again for the 1-year anniversary. But we're not talking any more about it right now. The rest of those details have yet to be revealed.
The best thing about it, starting the show, is that we'll now forever remember what day was the first day we started the show. It was April 30th, 2020. So we'll remember that forever because it's May Day Eve, and hopefully, that was my goal of trying to create a holiday, and hopefully in 2021 we can actually create a holiday out of it. And worst case scenario, at least it's an anniversary.
It's an anniversary, and it'll always be a Smokin Tabacco holiday. I don't care what anyone else says. It'll always be our holiday, and it'll be our anniversary. And there's another date that comes to mind, since we're talking about dates. It's September 1st, 2019, which was the first day that the concept of Smokin Tabacco as a whole began. And then it was only a few months later that the show started. So another important date for you. But yeah, that's going to be our anniversary for the show itself. And we're coming up on it. We're only a few months away. So we're really excited about that. It's also, was that also, Nicole? I think that's, it is.
I was waiting for you to say it, actually.
Yeah, well, I don't know, bring every part of our personal life onto the show, but it's also another anniversary. So the funny thing about the Smokin Tabacco show is that it shares its anniversary with something else, and that was when Smokin Nicole and I became a package deal, so to speak, in so many words.
You guys became a package deal during the May Day Eve massacre?
Yes.
We did.
And you know what was funny is that was our first show, and she watched it, and I remember saying, I just met this girl, and I'm trying to have her take me seriously, and she's watching this at home, and she's probably laughing like, this guy's a joke.
Oh, it was horrible.
And I'm like, and
it was
all John Carney's fault.
It was my fault.
And it's all John Carney's fault.
I remember the feed went down. We had to reconnect, and
it was awful. I mean, that led into me getting a new computer, new Wi-Fi. I mean, you name it. It was a disaster.
Bring this thing closer. What's going on here?
It was a massacre.
Far away.
It really was a massacre.
Yeah.
There we go. Sorry.
I didn't realize that was the same day.
Same day.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Now you know.
That was my.
It's a big day.
Gift to you. That was my gift to the two of you.
Thanks.
It's been a hell of a year, man. It's been crazy. It's been a lot going on. The cigar world was I think we're already seeing here at the end of the year of like what the cigar world's going to look like in 2021. There's going to be a lot of new cigars, a lot of new concepts, a lot of new projects out there. So it's looking great cigar wise. Personally reflecting on it, I think the year went by incredibly fast. It was fun to be part of the show with you guys and to get this going. It was fun to be doing the Hacking Gourmet thing that's turned into something bigger than what it was intended, which it seems like every project we had, right? It turned into something that was bigger than it was intended.
Even Gourmet Smoke Sessions, that turned out bigger than I thought you originally believed it would be.
And that keeps growing. So no, it's been a great year. So there's been a lot of opportunity. I'm looking forward to things normalizing a little bit for personal lives. On a political spectrum, you can have opinions and views and whatnot and differences, but I'm just looking forward to people getting back to a little bit more normalcy, whether it's through a vaccine or just comfort or whatever, because it's just getting sick and tiring. The whole thing's ridiculous. You can't have a conversation without bringing up the current environment. You can't have a conversation without talking about the new normal or this and that. It's just ridiculous, and that's not what our country was founded on and what we're part of. So to be in that for this year has been really interesting and, challenging for everyone. So I'm looking forward to just kind of people getting back to what we experience in cigars, really. At the end of the day, lighting up a cigar, relaxing, and finding commonality with people that you don't have something in common with, which is really what this is about. And I'm hoping there's more of the cigar culture out there in 2021, whether it happens to be with a cigar or not. I hope the cigar culture rubs off on society because everyone could really use it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's really well said. It was one of those years that just is, as much as a lot of bad things happened, some really good things came out of it in the process. It was kind of a what's the word, hodgepodge of just so many different things, and just probably one of the strangest years I think any of us in the world have seen in a very long time. And I think that I'm excited for the new year. A lot of people are excited because they think when the clock strikes midnight tomorrow night, it means that the coronavirus has gone away. Unfortunately, that's not what it means. However, it is an opportunity to clear your mindset and start a new year with a fresh, clean slate, go in with a new attitude. Maybe you've gone in with in a better place than you were when you started 2020. When you started 2020 and going into 2021, that'll kind of just change you and you have a better year. Even virus aside, maybe you had some hardships this year. Or you just grew, you learned, whatever you want to say, with this mess of a year that it was, and maybe it made you a better person, and you'll carry that into the new year, and have a better year regardless of the uncontrollable. So time will tell. Time will tell. All of us individually and us as a group, I think that 2021 is going to be a very big year. It's going to be a special year. I think we're going to see some huge things and some really good things happen next year. I can't wait to get into it. Even with some of the little things that we already have planned for next year, it's exciting. And there's always stuff developing. So it's gonna be a good time. Nicole, do you have anything you want to chime in on that subject?
No, I think you said it pretty well, both of you. It's been a trying year for a lot of people, and I feel like people have just found ways to kind of persevere. I mean, who knew that people would be having holidays through Zoom earlier?
Yeah.
It's been testing, the relationship of communication between people. I feel like that's the interesting thing, and especially, in the cigar industry, look at what has been created from COVID, right? With the online communities and forums and shows, and people still found a way to kind of connect with each other, which to me is very interesting.
I don't think there's any industry. I know premium cigar business is a small business, but I don't think there's any industry that has seen a more unique transition than the cigar business. Like, there was a way that we did things in the premium cigar business, the way things always went. And even if there was new innovations or whatever, new products, there was still a lot of the same stuff. And I think there was a lot of going through the motions, in this industry, which was fine, and it was a growing business and whatnot. But I think this current environment really allowed the cigar business to get innovative, because it's small industries, it's small businesses. They're agile. They're able to adjust quickly. Rolling out the types of programs that people done. I was watching our friend Terrence from Aganorsa. He's
Yep.
doing a video series, which looks like he's standing in front of. I'm sure you've seen. He's standing in front of like the background of like snowing, and he's got cigars behind him, and it looks like he's like on a testimonial video or an inspirational video. Like, oh, this is Terrence with Aganorsa. This is the Supreme Leaf. It's coming such this year. I mean, that stuff didn't exist really in the premium cigar world. Over a little over a year ago, people attempted it, but it wasn't, very successful. It wasn't a viable thing. These virtual combination events that are going on, which is still taking some transition, but what we've been doing with Hacking Gourmet and the gourmet smoke sessions, those things wouldn't have really existed for quite some time in this industry, just because everybody was very busy doing what they were doing, executing current plans. So I don't think there's any industry that I've been a part of that has, almost as overall. I mean, I know there's people struggling, but overall as an industry, I mean, this industry's thrived.
Oh,
right
100%.
now. I mean, it's thriving. This is one of the biggest years in premium cigars since the 90s.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is
huge,
like
man.
the second coming of the boom.
Yeah.
Almost. I mean, I remember going into
for
it like.
And for us, it is kind of like a boom for us, because we weren't alive. We weren't of smoking age at that time, or we weren't, we may not be alive. But this has really been like a cigar renaissance, and it's been really interesting to watch. It's been fun to watch, in terms of the demand for the products. So I said it's been a big year, and I think that's going to translate into 2019, because this has become 2021. Because this has become something that's an indispensable part of a lot of people's lives now, that when they had struggles and had challenges, that they fell back on, on sitting back and enjoying time with people on Zoom, enjoying virtual event, having a cigar and a cocktail on their own at home. Or, if they were fortunate, being able to go out to places, fortunately here in Florida, it's in pretty good shape here, and, we're able to go out, and, fortunately we're young, and we can be able to do that kind of stuff. But all people from different walks of life have been able to enjoy this together, and in a way that other industries haven't been able to present their products.
Yeah, I definitely think that going forward, the cigar industry will never be the same again. And I don't mean that even in a negative way. I mean in a good way. I think it really forced a lot of people to innovate because they had to. They didn't have a choice. It was either innovate or get left behind. And what you saw was a lot of people getting more into media and digital advertising, and the more shows came about, a lot of people, I remember in the thick of it, there was a lot of people going live all the time. Not even just shows, just people going live on Facebook, Instagram. I remember there was a point where it was hard. You had a hard time loading Instagram because so many people were live at one time, because literally everybody was going live at this, like all the time, because everyone was home and they had to do something. And then Facebook kind of had the same thing going on. There was a lot of people going live, and a lot of people did drop off, and it was more of a temporary thing for them. But people have stayed, such as ourselves, and we've actually grown it into more than just a pandemic solution. We've actually made this what we want to be a very long-term running program. So I think that, and we're not the only ones, and there's other people out there who have done it, and I think that it's not a bad thing. I mean, I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people who have been in the business for a long time. A lot of people have said to me, "Hey, keep doing what you're doing. I don't even know if you fully realize just how special is what you guys do on your show, because it's great. It's more content that we didn't have before, and that's really important in our industry. Whether you're bringing light to something, or you're expanding on the social aspect, like Jon was talking about. It's very important. This has always been a Jon, and I think you'll agree with me. The cigar business has been mostly, almost exclusively, a very face-to-face industry.
Oh, huge.
What the hell was that?
And it's the air conditioning unit.
I'm like, I'm
sitting in an environment that I'm not normally in, so there's sounds and things are going. And there's a train that's going to go by in a little bit, probably. But no, the cigar business is very much face to face. And I've said this on a couple of the calls that we've been on. You created great, strong relationships out there in the market. Being face to face is nothing that matches that. However, I will say, and I said I've been on the record saying this a number of times, that I haven't created stronger relationships than I have now, because in these environments like this, you sit down and light up a cigar up, and like I get invited on a show and we sit and talk, and there's people in the gallery that get to ask questions. If I was in a cigar store, which we want to be, but this is where it's going to change the way that we work in a cigar store too. But when you were sitting here on a Zoom meeting and there's 20 people watching asking you questions, you got to engage with 20 people and they got to hear the answers to the questions that you had. If you were talking one-on-one with somebody, which is great, that's unmatched, but you were having one-on-one conversations with 20, 30 people, 100 people at a time, and you were really connecting with people. And if they expressed interest, you might have ended up on a show somewhere else the next day, and they were watching you, or you were in one of the Zoom lounges, or one of the whereby lounges. So you run into people and you go around and around. And, I'm not saying everybody you run into loves you. I'm sure there's people that I've run into that thought I was a jerk or something. I don't know. But, you actually got to really connect with people and create really strong relationships. Like our friend Orlando, through the ambassadors group, through the show here. Now he watches Hacking Gourmet and he catches up on these different things. I mean, there's endless stories just like that of people that we've created a strong relationship with. And when we actually are back in the stores, it makes a big difference. I mean, I told you that story from Ponca City, Oklahoma, our friends that watched the show there. Yes. I walk into the shop in Oklahoma that we didn't do business with at the time, and they knew me. They knew you guys. They knew Nicole. They knew Matthew. They knew me. They watched Hacking Gourmet. They watch it in the store every week. If they're watching today, shout out to our friends in Ponca City. And they're coming down to Miami at the end of January, and we're all going to go out to dinner and have cigars and have a good time. And that was all something that was created through this. And I've never had that type of engagement and that genuine engagement that I've had through this. So it has been very special. And that's why I say this side of it will never go away. It'll just be an enhancement to the in-person experience, because this is just unmatched. And there's no other business where you light up a cigar and sit down for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and sit and have a talk and a conversation with somebody. I mean, we cannot say that enough. And I'm sure people hear it all the time. It's not like it's not just a line we give in the business. That's a real thing. And to actually physically experience it in a really condensed, way over the last 8-9 months has been truly special.
Another thing too, and I don't really mention this a lot. I don't know how many people actually know this. I think the two of you know this, but in terms of doing a show and being on some sort of audio platform and doing what we do, is something that I've often thought about for a while. I never really, I didn't know like what my platform would be, and I don't know. I guess the biggest thing is I'm a very loyal fan and listener of Howard Stern, and it's not just because of the comedy or the wild things that he does. I really enjoy just the way he talks, the way he runs his show. I like the way he interviews people. I like the questions he asks. I like the way he goes back and forth with Robin Quivers, and he has his staff involved, and it's just really different than a lot of other platforms that I've listened to, and I've always just had an affinity for him in that show. And it was a huge inspiration and a huge influence on me to actually sit here on the microphone and talk with other people to an audience, which I'll be honest with you, a few years ago was not something I'd even be comfortable doing. But I learned to kind of get over my shyness and do this every week. And now it's not even a thing anymore. I go on shows all the time. I do this every week, whatever. It doesn't even bother me. But at the same time, it is something that even before Smokin Tabacco, even before cigars, it's something that I always wanted to do, but I just never knew what I would do, how I would do it. It was just kind of one of those like little dreams you had. Like, I wish I could be on a radio show and talk to people. And maybe this isn't Sirius XM, but for me, it's still an accomplishment of mine that I've thought of for a very long time, just to come on here and have an audience and talk. It's been really fun. and it's been a learning experience, and we've made a lot of good, business relationships and key contacts and stuff like that, over the time, that we have spent together. But we've also made an enormous amount of friendships, and I think that that's most important. It's, there's a lot of good people out there that I know, that that even Nicole knows now, and it's a fun network of people. And to be able to come on here every week and do this show, with Jon and Nicole and everyone who comes and watches us every week, that's a pretty big deal for us. And it is for me too. It means a lot. It's definitely something I take seriously, and I know that these guys do as well. And I just want to say, as the original founding member of Smokin Tabacco, I appreciate having them on here every week and everything that they do to contribute to the brand. So thank you guys. I just want to say that. It really means a lot.
It's our pleasure.
It's been
there goes the train.
There goes the train. Just in time. Just in time. Didn't ruin my my monologue. That was a small train.
Yeah,
it's commuter. It's commuter rail.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah, Amtrak. So it's called Sunlink, I think, or Sunline, something like that. But yeah, no, it's been an awesome year. It's been really fun. It's been cool to be part of this, and we smoked a lot of good cigars. We've had a lot of great sit downs. Going back, looking at, we've had incredible guests. We had Jose Blanco recently, but Nick Perdomo, Terrence Riley's been on with us. We had Jim Price from Asylum and CLE.
We popped Sam Spencer's cherry from McAuliffe, who's watching right now.
We've had
Sam
on the
I should add
show.
that in.
We had
We've had
Andy on the
We've had the
show.
ambassadors. We've given away an appearance on the show, which we're going to get lined up hopefully early in the year for our friends there that won the contest.
We had David Garofalo, Jeff Borshowitz, Jose Blanco, Oliver Nouveau from United. Lot of different people. A lot of great people.
Glenn Loop.
Another
Glenn
one.
Loop was on the show. We
Scott
got
Pierce.
There's a lot more exciting stuff on the way too. And if we missed you when you were a guest on the show, we apologize. By we, I mean I apologize. But no, it's been excellent. We've had great people on, and it's been really fun. And I said that next year is going to be really exciting. There's a lot of new cigars coming up, so there's going to be a lot more great stuff to come. There's going to be a lot more new guests, and we'll keep growing with it.
We do have a question here. I don't know if Nicole's going to read this off.
Wait, from Sam? Wait, what?
No, I'm going back a little bit to Bruce Stark, who is a fan of ours, and he said, "Hey, Jonathan, did get
Bruce? I did get your email. I'm on vacation, and I haven't replied."
So Bruce, there you go.
No worries.
I told you.
But I have received your email, Bruce. I appreciate it, and I've got a couple boxes I'm going to take some pictures of and send to you so you can get them over to your friend and see if you can turn them into ukulele. I actually have got one of the Solomon Unico boxes I've been holding on to. So we'll see how that works. I know he has one that was made out of a digger box. But yes, Bruce, I did get your email. It's in my inbox, and I will get back to you here shortly.
Bruce,
by shortly anywhere between 7 to 10 days, not 4 years like the previous time. 7 to 10 days.
Bruce, actually, I have an Opus X box that is empty that I could send you. If you're willing to make one for us as well, I have an Opus X box. If you shoot me an email at matthew@smokintabacco.com, I will link up with you and we will chat about it. However, I think there was another question here.
Well, I also wanted to put you guys on the spot for a minute, and I wanted to ask you what your favorite episode was of the year. Ooh. I know.
Well, we had Tony Gomez on the show too, right?
Yeah, we did. It was a good one. I hate this question because it's tough. You don't want to leave anybody out.
I almost asked who was your favorite guest, but I figured episode would be a little bit better.
No, my favorite, probably my favorite episode. There's been some fun ones. I think my favorite episode, besides the cooking one, like I thought it was great last week when we did the Christmas party. That was a fun time.
Yeah,
that was just really enjoyable. I thought it was good. It was funny. There was a lot of quirky stuff that happened. It was good. I think Nick Perdomo was my favorite episode because that was the one guest that we had talked about from the very beginning that we wanted to have on. And my involvement in the show, I have a very good relationship with Nick. You know, we have mutual respect, and I'd always thought highly of him. And you know, when we talked, it was always cordial. But we were never as close as we were after the show, which was great. We had a lot in common. But for me, that was from the beginning. It was one of the concerns about a guest and me being on the show was if we were going to have an issue when owners wanted to come on. And that was one that we were concerned because that was a goal of ours to have him on the show. And I said, you know, hey, when we do the show with Nick, if we finally reach out to him, whether it's now or a year or whenever, you know, or we approach this, we'll want to make sure that he's okay with having me on the show. And not only was he okay with it, he wanted me on the show, spoke very highly of me, higher than I had anticipated, just because I said there was limited interaction. And for me, that was a really good show because that it kind of like solidified me being okay with being here. You know, where he was like, you know, because if anybody ever says, oh, like, I'm not on the show all the time, I'm probably 80% of the time. But it was like, if anyone ever said, oh, you know, I don't want Jon on the show because of this, like, Nick Perdomo was okay with me being on the show. So if Nick Perdomo didn't have an issue with it, none of y'all should have an issue with it, is really what we were kind of saying internally.
Right.
Because there's nothing that we do that doesn't make it about the person that's on the show. And there's nothing that I do that doesn't make it about them being on the show. So that was a really fun episode for me personally, because that was really an affirmation for my involvement on the show.
I think that was
fun. And the stuff we talked about with Nick was ridiculous. Like, he makes his own staples. I mean, it was like absurd.
He really is one of the most impressive people that I've met so far, and I say that with such confidence because it's just like, especially when I heard about the staples and the cellophane, I'm like, you don't even bid that out. You do that yourself. Even as something as simple as the little staples. No, I make it myself. I don't rely on anybody. It's like, to get to that level of commitment, that's, you know, that says a lot.
In terms of the cigar industry, obviously he's a major player. As I said, I put him in the top 5. You know, a major player, but on a personal level, for me, that was one of my more enjoyable ones. Just because it was great to sit down and talk to him and find out we all had how much we had in common. And it was awesome to enjoy we were smoking the cigar of the year that night, actually, the Cigar Authority and Two Guys Smoke Shop cigar of the year that night. Yes. We didn't know it at the time, but we were all smoking the Perdomo 10-year Maduros. So those were awesome. So that was, for me, that looking back, that was probably my favorite show, just because it was, I said, it was an affirmation of what we were doing and my involvement in this.
Bruce, I got your email, by the way, bud. Just, you know. No, yeah, I agree. I think that was like the turning point for you. I think after that episode, that was when you kind of realized, like, you know what? Like, fuck it. I don't have to go anywhere. Because if someone like Nick Perdomo doesn't have a problem with being on the show, no one should. And ever since then, not a single... Just so you know, Jonathan Carney from the Four Dominicanos on the show. Great. Has always been the reaction. It's never been, ooh, that's going to be a problem, bud. And to be honest with you, at this point, with the amount of people that have come on, even Jose Blanco. I said, Jose, just so you know, Jonathan Carney's on the show. Oh, yeah, John's great. Yeah, I love it. We're going to have a great time. You know, at this point, if anyone did say, like, hey, you know what? I don't know. That's bad business for me. I'd be like, really? Well, just so you know, respectfully, no one else has had an issue with it. And he definitely brings a great audience to the show and brings a lot of energy. So, I don't know. But, you know.
So what was yours? What was your favorite show?
I
know you love the Nick Perdomo one, too, so I'm sorry for taking that.
No, I do. See, I don't like these questions because I feel like someone's going to feel like, oh, what about me? I feel like yeah, I mean, the Nick Perdomo episode was a good one. Not even just because it was Nick. I mean, that was a huge part of it, and to have his time was really special.
It was just a damn good episode. Remember?
It was yeah. I was really.
We got dressed up.
I was really proud of the way that episode just came together.
Yeah.
Just everything.
We had the
No
fire.
issues.
I remember my setup outside was great. Like everything about it was just. It was probably one of our smoothest shows.
Yep. You did a soap review for Nick Perdomo, and he enjoyed it. He actually enjoyed that more than he wanted to talk about sports. I remember the sports. He was like, "I'm good with that," but when we came to the soap review, he was very intrigued, and I was surprised.
Yeah. I think that's been the one of the more I think it's even more special since we aren't doing it really all the time now.
Yeah.
But
it's a treat.
Yeah, the soap review has been, it's when it shows up, it's special. By the way, that Dr. Squatch stuff is next level. So
well, I was gonna say, so I would say probably my other favorite, if I had to pick two, because I like to play this, I would say I liked the Jose Blanco episode that we just did. I thought that was a really good show because it was very informative, and Jose has a lot to bring to the table, and it came together really well. And also that soap review was a good one. And also Jose was the first person to come on the show and like really call out Jon on something. And it was funny because no one else has done this, and I'm surprised more people don't. But he kept calling Jon out because Jon owes him a steak. And he didn't let him forget it. And I'm going to keep it going, Jose. I'm not going to let him forget it. I got you, bud. You owe Jose Blanco a steak.
I don't know what I owe it to him for, but if he says I owe him, I definitely owe him. And I obviously
you do.
won't turn down having a steak with him. I actually got a steak inside sous videing right now. We're doing tacos tonight after the show, and then we're picking some friends up at the airport for New Year's Eve.
Oh, nice.
But I think the single best moment for me, period, even watching back, was the soap review in Atlanta during Atlanta Cigar Week.
I was going to touch upon that.
That was a good one too. The people in the bathroom was.
Oh my God, the guy peeing in the background, most memorable.
The whole show itself was just crazy because you guys. I remember I told you that I wasn't sure I'd be able to be on the show very much, but we'd go live maybe for just a little, even right up to the show going on, like leading right up to it. It was like I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this. So like 5 minutes, maybe 5 minutes before, I was like, no, I'll be able to be on the show a little bit. We'll do it right at the beginning, and then we just continued to go around and meet everybody. That was a really fun show too, because there was nothing about that was planned at all.
Yeah, that definitely was. That was a very what's the term? That was a very improvised episode, and it went together flawlessly. Actually, I think all things considered, just the way it went down, it was pretty good.
All I remember is every time I put an earbud in someone's ear, they'd get on the show. I was like, hey, we got to come back. And then I'd look at the two of you, and you're both trying to not laugh at the same time where the next person's up. We talked to so many interesting people that night.
Yeah. That there was a lot of and I think it was funny to watch the reaction, like, oh, like I'm alive on something right now, and they had like, I don't think they had any idea like what was really going on. And then you went into the bathroom, and that's when it just, both bathroom attendants are there, the guy's pissing in the background, the blur helped a little bit, but we all knew what was going on. I think you were a little tipsy for that too. I think you were.
No, I wasn't too much at that time. I was later in the evening, but the event had just started when we went live, because we were doing the show. Were we at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock?
We were at 8 o'clock.
Thursdays at 8. Yeah.
Ladies' night.
Yeah, so that event had kind of just started. Yeah, it was the ladies' night thing. So that had just started. It was She Smokes Too is what it was called, and we had just kind of started. So no, there wasn't too much alcohol involved at that point.
Yeah. Well, my mom has commented that her favorite episode was when you were over at the house. This was sometime in August when you were staying here. And we apparently were both tipsy, and you did the soap review. And then Austin said it was when Jon couldn't stop sneezing after smelling the soap. And I'm pretty sure that was the same episode because you were out there in the kitchen and you couldn't stop sneezing during the whole thing. And then you get to the end and you were a little tipsy and you were all kind of like messed up from the sneezing. You were like, you said some sort of monologue like, we will grow as individuals.
Yeah, that was, dude.
Were you trying to do the Any Given Sunday speech? When he was like,
that was hilarious.
We will heal as a team, or we will die
stop sneezing.
as individuals.
Yeah, that was really good. That was a great episode too, and that was a great weekend too. The Tobacco Estate weekend was great. We got plenty more of that headed up, but
Chateau de la Carne.
and that was good. Yeah, we'll do the chateau this summer.
So,
Oh, absolutely.
my favorite episode, anybody wants to know over here.
Well, yeah, we do.
Um,
You brought it up.
I
so.
know, but Glen Loop, I feel like was a really good episode because if you're not aware of what he's doing for us, or now whoever has taken over.
Well, he's a
yeah.
consultant now currently with the PCA.
Yep.
Yes.
But it was just very eye-opening to learn about everything that he's doing, for one. And then my other favorite moment, which is not technically an episode, was the golf video.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And it's
That
not
was-
an episode for everyone watching, but you can find it on the Smokin Tabacco YouTube channel where Matthew and Jon had an air horn. And what was that? That was for the New Hampshire Cigar Association?
Yeah, Cigar Association of New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be doing that next year. Jon and I have already discussed what hijinks we're going to pull off next year.
That was such a good time because that was right in the thick of COVID, kind of. It was like right, summer had hit. It was in June.
Yeah.
And it might have been the end of May.
No, it was
Whenever
later than that. It was August or September,
was it?
actually.
Oh, anyway.
I think it got
we
pushed
were down
later.
there. Yeah, so we're down there. And, I mean, we had a great day. And, like, everybody had their booth set up. We had the tent. We had a grill. We had a table set up with cigars on it. We had the air horn. We had drinks.
Fillets.
We had filet for lunch. We grilled filet mignon and had the German potato salad, the Mama Tobacco German potato salad. So people would come up to our booth and they're like, we had tiki torches, and it was a great time. Remember the one guy came up because he thought we were burning the flag.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, every time I looked over, it looked like you guys were burning an American flag. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what do we call it? It was like the eternal light.
The eternal flame.
Yeah, we had the eternal flame, and we had the flags around. He's like, yeah, it kept looking like there was a flag burning. He's like, so when I rode by, I was finally like relieved that it was like kind of like a memorial type thing we had set up. But we had a blast, and I think we're going to change the way people set stuff up there at that tournament. To be honest with you, we came in heavy. We're coming in heavier next year. We're going to have a bar. We're gonna ask for forgiveness rather than permission. We're gonna have a cocktail bar there and have somebody making cocktails. Yeah, we'll have a little tiki bar. And it'll be a good time, and we're looking forward to that. But yeah, that was a good video. That's a good one. Nicole.
Just so you guys all know, in New England, for anyone who does go to the Cigar Association of New Hampshire golf outing, the La Flor Dominicana / Smokin Tabacco exhibit next year will be legendary. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm saying that as a warning to the other manufacturers. We will be ready, and we will be legendary.
Yeah,
and we will not be forgotten.
Too.
We will not be forgotten.
And there will be shenanigans.
I'm going to request a par 3 again. And I think one thing I want to do is like surround the tee box with like tiki torches, and we'll have a tiki bar, but it'll be like Survivor. It'll be like Smokin Tabacco, LFD, Cigar Association of New Hampshire golf outing Survivor on the whole, and we'll run like a Survivor contest, and we'll vote somebody off the island each time.
Yes, I like that. And we're gonna film.
Tribal Council.
We're gonna get more into another thing that I want to drop here. So we're gonna get much more into filming more non-show content for our channel and social media for all you guys to watch. So I think we're gonna end up making like a whole, not just like a montage of the prank, but we're gonna make a special video of just all different things that we did, not only at that event, but a lot of other events that we get ourselves involved with next year too. So look forward to a lot more content next year because it's gonna be really good. So yeah, that'll be. And if you don't go to the Golf Association event, you will be able to watch everything unfold. We'll make sure that it's online. So I just want to make sure everyone knows.
Yeah, we have big plans that involve traveling once COVID is.
Sam said, I feel McAuliffe should be a part of this exhibit, and by McAuliffe, I mean me. So, Sam, why don't you talk to Andy, talk to Dan. Let's get McAuliffe involved. You guys can fly in. You guys can be on another
they would
hole.
have to sponsor. They would have to sponsor the one. Yeah, be a sponsor at the outing. And we can do a tag team type thing.
Well, that's what I mean.
We can have Smokin Tabacco at 2 stations.
That's right.
Yeah, and McAuliffe's in New Hampshire now, so like, come
Smokin
on.
Tabacco is coming to take over. So, yeah, there could be multiple holes with Smokin Tabacco shenanigans. I could be at one hole, and Nicole could be at another, or however we do it. This thing just keeps growing by the minute, John. I don't know. We get more and more ideas. It's gonna, you know what it's gonna be? It's eventually one day. This is gonna be the Cigar Association of New Hampshire Golf Outing, brought to you by Smokin Tabacco.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we're definitely gonna have a tribal compound at our hole. So
You think we could get what's his face, Jeff Probst from
maybe you
Survivor?
never know. Never know. So I did get
Or
a new pair of Crocs.
did you?
Over Christmas? Yep. So I got a new pair here. They're a little bit smaller, so they're a little more sporty fit. So that's nice. I still have my other ones too, but it was one of my main gifts.
Actually, speaking of Europeans, I will call this one out. I know. I won't say who, but Nicole's mom is actually watching the show, and I'm going to give a shout out. And
It's pretty late in England.
She has shouted out from Derbyshire, England, where
Derbyshire.
Well, she wrote Derbyshire, but
No,
maybe that's...
I'm telling you how to pronounce it.
It's pronounced Derbyshire.
Okay. Okay.
Like Peabody. It's Peabody.
Okay. Anyway, so fun fact for you guys, for those of you who don't know, Smokin Nicole actually lived in the United Kingdom for 7 years, and does contain dual citizenship between the United States and the United Kingdom, and someday someone else will too. So that's really cool. For those of you guys who didn't know.
I don't think it works like that.
It does.
It does?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Yeah.
As well as any child that she has, obviously, automatically gets it too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just have to apply.
We'll gotta be part of the United Kingdom someday, John.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, which is funny, I was thinking about the Golf Association thing. You were talking about the flag. It was funny because the guy was concerned about you burning the flag, but he pulls up to the hole and he didn't see the guy wearing the American flag shorts with the American flag Crocs, and didn't think, why would this guy be burning the flag? You know? Some people just don't think all the way, you know? Guys grilling, wearing American flag, everything.
Yeah.
I think you had your American flag hat on.
Now,
so
go ahead, John.
I smoked. Do we have a sports segment tonight?
Well,
we have both segments, but we were enjoying our reminiscing stage of the show. First, we'll get to sports. I'm sorry, not sports. We're gonna get to news really quick because I do have something that's worth talking about. Let me just pull this up here. Sorry, I lost my mojo and my momentum here. Our news segment brought to you by McAuliffe Cigars, the McAuliffe Ambassador Program. There's plenty of ambassadors watching tonight. If you are not an ambassador, head over to McAuliffeCigars.com, read into it, check it out, sign up, be an ambassador, get the tasting pack, taste your way through, fill out your passport, and maybe you'll become Ambassador of the Year like Mr. William White. Congratulations. I wanted to throw that out there. He is the 2020 McAuliffe Ambassador of the Year. So we'll throw a little love out there. But yes, McAuliffe Cigars, get on it. Boutique Cigar Association announces that the resignation of Dr. Gabby Caffey as president, which is something that I think that news broke today, I want to say, or maybe yesterday. Just, you know, the Boutique Cigar Association has been around for a couple years. It's a good organization that represents a lot of the smaller brands, the smaller companies. You know, whether they're still growing or they're just a smaller brand, they don't really want to be too big. They want to focus more on a smaller production, specialized, you know, whatever you have. There's so many different people that are involved in this. There's an organization that represents everybody. So you might not have heard of that one. It's a smaller organization, but just some news that broke this week. John, I'm sure you're familiar with everyone over there as well.
I'm not super familiar with the Boutique Cigar Association. Gabby, Dr. Caffey is one of the nicest people in the business. really well spoken and a great advocate for premium cigars. I've always enjoyed following him over the years through social media, and the few times we've met in person. But I'm not super familiar with the Cigar Boutique Association. But I do, from my understanding, the way it appeared, he was one of the leading
founding members.
Essentially, the leader of it. And from what it appeared, if he wasn't, then I was mistaken on that. But I think that'll be a big impact for them. Obviously he has a lot of direction and a lot of expertise in his field and just being professional in general. So I think that'll be a impact for them. But I said I'm not super familiar with them, but that's obviously it is something in the news in terms of premium cigars that was unique. That we talked about this last week a little bit. The rare pinks started to hit this week.
Yes.
Fuente.
Yep.
That's a Hemingway and an Opus. There's a Hemingway
Yes.
and an Opus version of that started. There's other new products that are on the way that people just announced. And I think one thing that is newsworthy is there's a lot of Cigar of the Year stuff coming out now. Cigar Aficionados has been pushed back to January. But Cigar Coop's getting towards the end of his. He's in the top 5
Shout
now,
out. Cool.
I believe. So William Cooper, we got his top cigar list coming out. And so that'll be something to watch for sure. And then, just keep your eye out on social media for those types of things. Obviously, we had the situation that went on here at Smokin Tabacco, but we will change that next year and discuss with our partners of the best way to do that and look at some other expertise out there. But yeah, it's just been a great year with that. So it'd be fun to watch those lists. And I said those lists are something that's newsworthy, and Coops is the one that's going on right now. So it'd be interesting to see what his final cigars of the year are. And he's got a really transparent system too, so I encourage you if you do like following those lists to jump on his list and do some reading about how he selects it, because he's pretty particular about it.
Yeah, Coop does a really good job, and I would say out of all the people in the media section of the industry, he's one of my favorites. I'm happy to say he's become a good friend. He's a great guy, and I like his style. I'll say it. I like his style.
And he's going to be a guest on the show next week.
Yeah, he's our first guest of 2021.
That's right.
And it's interesting because it's easier to do a cigar of the year type contest or list when you're actually we're not a cigar reviewing site. We're not cigar reviews. We'll smoke cigars, talk about them, but we don't give ratings. We don't really give scores. I know you've done some of that in the past, but it's not really.
It's not my primary focus. No.
Yeah, it's not really what we're about. So it's when they have a rating system, it's a little bit easier to come up with cigars of the year. But we'll have a system that's unique and different, and something that creates something that hopefully comes up with some different results and is a little more foolproof going forward and as fair as possible. So that'll be fun. But I said his list is great, and it'll be. I said I encourage, if you do read his list, to actually go and read how he selects them, because he's very transparent in that.
Yeah, I agree. I second that. I would totally check that out. We, as a lot of you guys know, we attempted to have our own. That did not go well. That's all we're going to say about it. But we will try to. We're going to hit the drawing table, and we're going to have a better plan for next year. So we will do one next year, and it will be better. Obviously.
And by the way, and if you cheat and you decide on cheating, just know that I'm judging you inside. So for those watching the show, if you participated in any level of cheating in the voting, I am quietly judging you. So just be known that the judgment rests here.
But we do have, on a brighter note, some great ideas.
Dun, dun, dun. Judgment Day.
So you don't
By
get
the way, I'll be
whacked by
honest,
John.
it was really entertaining in itself. Controversy is not necessarily a bad thing. That was obviously not intended. But I think it created a lot of back and forth communication and discussion, and I don't think that was a bad thing. I'm sure there was. I thought it was a little bit dramatic that some people were like, "Well, I'm not going to watch the show because this now questions the integrity." Give me a break. It was a poll. If a little poll is questioning the integrity of it, and it's not like we're not giving out Pulitzer prizes, and peace prizes here. We're not the Nobel Society. Smokin Tabacco, we were just giving out Cigar of the Year. So if you chose not to watch because that questioned the integrity of the show, I might question your integrity as a viewer.
But what I will say is
that's
that
my word on it.
Well, yeah, but it challenged us. We thought that would be a good way to go, and it challenged us to think, okay, maybe that isn't the best way to go. So now for next year, we can hopefully come up with something even better that hasn't been done before. So,
Yeah, I think that we have a lot of ideas for a lot of different things. Cigar of the Year is definitely something we're going to reattempt, and we're going to do it better. It was something that I'll take a little bit of responsibility for in terms of I didn't put together. I didn't. So one of the things I didn't anticipate it being.
Stop. It's a poll. People should
Well,
vote once for the poll.
well,
That's
no,
their problem. It
I
has
agree.
nothing to do with you. We being people of integrity thought that we could put out a poll and have it be fine. And then obviously things went sideways, but that doesn't question of poor laid plans or not planning right. It was a poll. People got a chance to vote and it got out of control. And now there's things that you can do to alter those, and that's fine. And those were decisions that people made, and there was a lot of votes too, which was that was my biggest disappointment, was there actually were a lot of people engaging on it legitimately, and that was awesome. So I don't think it was a bad thing, and I said it was an innocent poll, and you don't have to apologize. You've already discussed it. You don't have to say anything. If people are expecting an apology out of you, you can tell them that there's no more apologies. I won't let you do it.
Right.
Like it's not happening. It was an innocent little poll, and if we can't run a little innocent poll and have people vote on it without there being questions and issues, then that's not our problem. It's our problem to fix it so we don't put that platform up again. But it's the people's problem that chose to take advantage of our situation.
I'm following along the
I
comments
know the
here,
comments are.
and I see someone. So Larry Frank had commented, "Don't forget Nicole's calendar."
So, wait, hold on.
I
Before
didn't know
you're confused,
Nicole was going to do a calendar. That was part of the lineup for 2021.
no. I was on a McAuliffe Ambassador chat, and they were talking to, is it Cigar Eyes? Um,
Oh yeah, Jamie Stevens. Yeah.
yes, and so they were trying to get her to do a calendar for charity, and they said that we should do one, or I should do one as well. Don't think it's gonna happen, but maybe. We'll see. Maybe with Matt and John.
We could do a very risque calendar of just John in his apron, nothing else, in the kitchen smoking cigars.
You could be in a Speedo by the Tobacco Estate swimming pool.
No, that's
And then
not
the
really.
Mayday Massacre, the month of May can just be a big dumpster fire.
Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, that's a good idea. See, ideas start to flow. It's all about throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks. That's usually how it goes over here. Bruce said, "I'll take her photos." Bruce, you're a good guy, but I appreciate it, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Bruce, let's just stick to the ukuleles, all right?
Yeah, let's. This is not. No. That's all I have to say. No. But yeah, it's just the comments. You know what it is? It's between Orlando. It's mostly Orlando. Orlando is like that one guy. When you watch a program, or there's any sort of comments on something live that's happening, and there's always that one guy who comments the most, and it's not that he keeps it going, but he keeps the spoon moving in the pot.
Well, it's called an instigator.
Yes, an instigator. That's Orlando. He's over there, and he's the instigator of the show. That's what Orlando's doing right now. He's just trying to instigate. No, but we love Orlando, and Orlando brings a lot of energy to the comment section of the show. So that is not going to complain too much on that one, because it definitely makes it more interesting. But yeah, no, that was our news for the week, really. Let's I see everyone's laughing now. Orlando, what's he saying now? My mind.
Oh no, it's not Orlando.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe. All right. Well, never mind. I'll have to get filled in later.
Moment, we should switch it to sports, potentially.
Yeah, let's hit sports really quick. Jesus, we've already been on here for over an hour. I didn't even realize. We're having so much fun.
Sports.
So our sports segment brought to you by Platinum Nova Cigars. Make Nova big. Nova Cigars. Is Nicole smoking a Nova right now?
I smoked a Nova yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Sorry, 2 days ago, the day after Christmas. I smoked the Platinum Nova, the Connecticut. It was like a 54 ring gauge, like a short Toro.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah.
Might have even
Nice.
been a 60, to be honest with you.
Was it the Mirage? That's their 6x60.
No, it wasn't 6x60, but it was short, low fat cigar. It was good.
This
Yeah.
is the Leo X, or so I learned when
Leo
Leo was
10.
on the show. The Leo 10. Yep. Delicious. My Christmas present.
Yep.
The
So yeah, I did have that Nova. It was excellent. It was a really good change of pace. Good cigar.
I guess one of the getting into sports. I guess one of the biggest things that just broke hours ago for hockey fans. The longtime Boston Bruins, Zdeno Chara, has signed with the Washington Capitals and will no longer wear the black and gold. I'm not surprised. I feel like if the Bruins really wanted to keep him, they would have locked that up sooner. I feel like they were trying to keep their options open. He's a great player. He's been in a lot of big games. He's had a lot of career, moments, and he's done really well. But he's a big guy. He's getting old.
He's getting older.
For hockey, I think the Bruins are trying to look to the future, and they need some younger players on that team. I think that they just felt like even if they kept him, he wouldn't be the same force that he used to be. It wasn't a long-term viable option for them, and I think that they.
I mean, this has been discussion over the last couple of years in Boston anyway.
Yeah,
I'd say at least 3 years it's been discussion. So I wasn't shocked when I saw it when it popped up today to see him going. But he's going to do well in the Capitals. I think he'll be a good fit. He's not going to have to play as many minutes, playing as many lines. But I think it was something that was inevitable for the Bruins anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Bruins. I don't think they need a rebuild. I don't think they're at that point. But I think they definitely need to shuffle some people around and fill some spots with some new people. And I think they'll still have a good shot at having a good team this year. A lot of people are going to hate on Tuukka Rask for being absent in the playoffs last year. I really like Tuukka Rask. I know a lot of people don't like Tuukka Rask. He's probably one of my favorite players, but I do myself even question how much longer he will be around. Yaroslav Halak is definitely a good goaltender. I don't think that he's the answer for starting goaltender long term. I definitely think a new. There goes the train again. I'm just waiting.
That was the Polar Express.
Yes. All aboard. Yeah. So the Bruins have some things that they got to figure out over the next couple of years. I think they'll be okay, but like I said, maybe this is not the year, but I think a couple of little tweaks. I think they could be a really strong force again. In terms of the Patriots, we haven't seen a season like this in a long time. A lot of people, and I'm curious to see if John's attitude has changed, and I don't think it has, but a lot of people are really starting to get sick of Cam Newton at this point.
Here's the thing: Cam's not going to be around next year. There's a lot of good players that I think that may be available. I would love to see Matthew Stafford in New England. I think he'd be awesome. He's going to be available. He's a really good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they put the right people around him, he could be good. I think Cam's probably going to be done, but he's not done in the league. Cam was by far not the issue with the Patriots. He was one of the lowest paid players on the team. All right.
Yep.
So he's coming in at a discount. So he's one of the lowest paid players. He had 13 touchdowns on the season thus far. Who knows if he plays this week? But he had 13 rushing touchdowns, led the league in that. People talk about his throwing and this and that. There's obviously something there with his shoulder, but I don't think it's awful. I mean, the Patriots are just terrible. Their offense was no better than it was last year. The reason the team was better last year, one, Brady does make a difference, obviously, but the offense was really bad with him, even there last year. The defense was the top defense in the league for about 13 weeks last season. They were incredible. They were top 5 defense, and that made that team much better than it should have been. You take away that top 5 defense, and you had all the same issues. Neither of their outside tackles block. None of the tackles block. They have no tight ends. They have a gaggle of running backs, which are pretty good, and their interior alignment are good. But the outside pressure killed the Patriots this year. 0 blocking, no tight end play. And I think the most quintessential issue is the receiving core is terrible. For example, the other day, Bird took a ball off the face on a perfectly executed trick play, and Cam Newton threw it into his face and he dropped the ball. So the confidence of throwing to those receivers is terrible. And it was just a really awful situation for Cam Newton to be in. He's going to get a chance somewhere else because I think he's that talented. I do not think it's going to be in New England. It's time to move on from that. But they got to take care of these issues. For example, Jacoby Myers is the best receiver on the Patriots. N'Keal Harry didn't pan out. Jacoby Myers isn't a top 9 receiver on Tampa Bay. Like if you went through Tampa Bay's receiving core, we would get to the 9th person before we'd even consider Jacoby Myers on that team. He's a good he's a good number 3. He's probably a really good number 4 in the league. But a number 1 receiver, he's just not that guy yet. Maybe he could be in the future. But the Patriots' issues are well beyond Cam Newton, and we got to start blaming the people that are getting paid a lot of money rather than the guy that's playing for a discount. So I thought he did what he was supposed to do. I thought for the circumstances, he probably played as well as he could. But that team is awful. They do not block. There's no tight ends. We've taken care of none of the issues that we've had over the last 3 years. And it's really just something that needs to be looked at. And I think they'll improve next year. But
also,
yeah, for the Pats.
Another question for you. What are your thoughts on Julian Edelman's future in New England?
I think he's gone. I think he's going to go to Tampa next year.
I think so too. I don't think he'll be around.
Yeah, I don't. I think he'd be stupid not to. Go play with your best friend. Go play with your friends. He'd go down there for a discount because he's not going to get taxed like he's in Massachusetts. Sign like a 2-year deal down there. He can go sign a 2-year deal, retire down there with Brady, do his thing, maybe have a chance to win a championship again. I think that's logical what he'll do. And he's a Patriot for life anyway. It doesn't matter. Same thing with Brady. Patriots for life. So I'd love to see it. I think it'd be great for them and an awesome situation. My favorite thing in sports, though, in the last week and a half was the Washington football team losing this week, which assured there would be a team with a losing record in the playoffs, which I think is incredible.
That is incredible. It's pretty impressive. Also, the Washington football team let their quarterback go this week.
Yeah, Haskins is a bum.
Yeah, so that happened. I forget who it was. I should know, but since I'm bringing it up. But a Jets player has tested positive for the coronavirus, and that may or may not impact this weekend's game against New England. Not that it really matters between those two teams, but there's a little bit of that going on there.
Well, you know what's strange for me in the NFL? So, like, the Cleveland Browns were missing their top 4 receivers. They had, like, 7 players or something on the COVID reserve list. Mm-hmm. And they lost. And now they gotta win this weekend to get in. But I thought it was interesting that the league didn't postpone that game. It was like the Pittsburgh Steelers had Ben Roethlisberger on the COVID list, and, like, they pushed the game back. And then they had, like, Patrick Mahomes was on it, or what? Patrick Mahomes, I don't think was on it, but you had these players. There was a bigger name player that was on the list. I couldn't believe the NFL didn't push that game back with that many players missing, because they'd done it early in the year. Obviously, they did it because it's getting towards the end of the year. But I thought that was kind of a interesting call, and I was kind of surprised that that game didn't get postponed a little bit.
So now that we have, we're at week 17. I think it's safe to say we can start talking playoffs. What kind of outlook you got going down the line here?
AFC
let's go AFC, NFC, then Super Bowl. Let's do the whole thing.
AFC, I think it's going to come down to the Ravens or the Chiefs. The Ravens are playing really good football right now. The Lamar Jackson's playing great. He's really changing his game. He's playing excellent. The Chiefs are cutting it close, man. They're not playing their best football right now, but I think they'll turn it around. They do a lot of cutesy stuff. They probably should have lost this past weekend, but they didn't. And but I think it's going to be either the Chiefs or I've called at the beginning of the year. I called it was going to be Chiefs versus Bucks. That's what I called. I think it's going to be either Chiefs, Ravens in the Super Bowl, and I think it's going to be either the Bucks or the Saints in the NFC. Which are Green Bay Packers fans.
I was going to say, you counting Aaron Rodgers out? I mean,
I'm not counting him out. He's having an MVP type season. I think he's going to win the MVP. He deserves it. He's a beast. But I don't know. I just don't count Brady out, and I don't count Drew Brees out. But the fun thing is the NFC is going to be really fun. You got Brady, Brees, and Rodgers all playing in the NFC, which is going to be awesome. So there's going to be a game. Yeah, there's going to be a game between Brady and Rodgers, or Brady and Breeze, or Breeze and Rodgers. There's going to be a big game, and it's going to be awesome.
And I would say NFC game, any mix of those three, I think will be better than whatever the AFC game will be to watch. I think that'll be the one to watch. AFC game, I think, will be good. There's some, like you said, there's some. I agree. I don't know if I see the now stumbling Pittsburgh Steelers make it all the way down and play a solid AFC game, but it'll be good. The NFC
when are we ever going to see playoffs again where you have arguably the three top statistical quarterbacks in the history of the league playing at the same exact time to get to the Super Bowl? I mean, it's going to be crazy, right? You have living legends who are literally Hall of Famers. It's just going to be awesome to watch.
Orlando, shut up about that. All right, the Rams, Orlando's going, Rams, baby. Listen, we beat them down twice in the Super Bowl, and I mean, no one cares about the Rams, so let it go.
They're not getting past. They're not getting past the Saints. They're not getting past Green Bay, and they're not getting past Tampa. It's not happening.
They're done.
And by the way, if it does happen, great. But that's just not my prediction.
For me, in the NFC, I'm sticking to my guns because you guys already know, I like the Saints. I like Drew Brees.
They beat the Bucs twice.
They beat the Bucs twice. Rodgers beat them at home once, but I like the Saints. I like the Saints. Listen. We all know about Tom, and Tom can play, but I definitely feel like out of those three teams, I would say the Bucs are the third. I would say, in my opinion, I think the better two teams are Green Bay and the Saints. That's my opinion. But I'm not discrediting the Bucs. They're a very good team, and they are certainly. Those three teams are still all three strong teams, but I have in my mind, in my gut, I feel Green Bay, New Orleans. That's just me. I feel Green Bay, New Orleans. Rodgers and Breeze. I see Rodgers and Breeze. If it does come down to Brady is one of those teams instead, the Bucs and Brady, that's still going to be a good showdown, like we said before. I think it's
no matter
still be
what,
a good showdown.
If Brady's going to get to the Super Bowl again with the Bucs, he's going to have to go through Breeze
or
Rodgers. He's going to have to go through both of them, right? So
probably,
and the other team's probably going to have to too. Like, so for any of them to win, they're going to all have to go through each other. So we're in for a great playoffs. It's going to be awesome.
Bruce Stark says, I got nothing. I live near Detroit. Oof. Yeah. Detroit Lions.
Well, Pittsburgh's not too far away. You could root for Pittsburgh, Bruce.
Yeah. Bruce, you got Pittsburgh. You got Big Ben. You might do something. But I think that the NFL playoffs this year are going to be good based on who's going, how well those teams have been playing. And the cherry on top is what John said in the beginning. As much as there's some really good teams that are really going to go at it in these playoffs, there is going to be a team that has a losing record in the playoffs. And I think the coolest scenario, no, maybe not the coolest, but the funniest scenario that could come out of this is that losing team actually makes it. Maybe they don't make it to the Super Bowl, but they make it far enough where it's like, oh shit, how the hell do they do that?
It could happen.
It could happen. Probably won't, but it could happen. And at that point, it's like, wait a minute. And I guess the longest shot is, can you imagine the odds? Imagine the Vegas odds on one of those losing teams. It makes it to the Super Bowl. Can you imagine the betting odds?
It's worth throwing $100 on it, right?
I mean, a team with a losing regular season record makes it to the Super Bowl. You bet on that team and they win.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a sight. Well, I don't know. I think that's all we got for sports this week. We're coming to an end here.
Yeah.
So,
it's been a great year. We've got
there's nothing else
great
really to
start
say.
to the year, and yeah, that's it. I mean, I think the product speaks for itself. I think it was a great year at Smokin Tabacco, and I said the product speaks for itself, and we'll come back and be even better next year, and it's going to be exciting.
The best is yet to come, as I like to say. You know, our first year has been a year. Go ahead. See, this is what I mean by Orlando is just an instigator. The
Now
troublemaker.
now Orlando knows how everyone feels when he's talking.
Oh, I know. Orlando, whenever we're in a herf and you start talking, that's how we feel when you just start going on and on and on about
He knows
God
he
knows
knows
what.
that's not true. He knows that's not true. We love him.
Bill White, there's your answer right there. Yeah, if you're a Smokin
I was
Nicole
muted.
fan.
Sorry. I said Smokin'
Oh,
Babe
wow.
was for all the girls and Smokin Tabacco was for all the guys. So.
Yeah, and you can find that at smokintabacco.com/store, where we have a lot of cool stuff on there. You guys should check it out. There's some really cool stuff. It's all designed by Nicole. More stuff's coming every day. She has some more stuff she's adding to the Smokin Babe line. That is her line, so to speak.
Yep.
For all the fans of Smokin Nicole, or just the lady smokers out there, want some representation. There's some cool stuff for you guys out there.
And we have some goodies coming up soon. I know we've been talking about a giveaway forever, but that is actually going to be coming up soon. The other thing is we have also swag that we're going to be passing out in the groups soon. So in January that will be released. So
yeah, the giveaway we wanted to do for Christmas, but unfortunately we couldn't get all the pieces to it in time. So we're still gonna do it.
Yep.
Because that's what we do. We promised you a giveaway, and that's what we're gonna do. That's what we have.
Yep.
So keep an eye out for that, because it's gonna be a fun one. There's gonna be some cool stuff in there. But other than that, John, floor is yours.
Hacking Gourmet will be back on January 11th for our first episode of 2021, and we will have on January 14th with our friend Matul Shah from Mom's Cigar Lounge in Scarsdale, New York. We'll be doing an entirely virtual show. He will have some guests and be broadcasting it there live in the lounge. So if you're in the New York area, the downstate area, you will be able to go by the lounge if the state allows them to be open, which right now they are. But we'll be doing that January 14th in the El Salud. We'll be there. The one I smoked tonight, the New Year's Eve cigar, I'll be posting some pictures over the next few days, and we'll be getting packages ready for that. Hacking Gourmet on January 11th for our first episode, and then the Florida Dominicana Gourmet Smoke Session number 4 with Mom's Cigar Warehouse on January 14th. The packages are available on meatandbone.com, MEAT, the letter N, bone.com. You can go on there and just search for hacking, and you can find any of our packages on there for food. But get those ordered. They ship them out prior to the show. You can order now, and they'll just set it and forget it. So you order, pay for it, and they'll ship it in time for you to get it to prepare it along with us. We're doing a New York strip, and we're doing some Argentinian shrimp with a garlic aioli that we're using. We have this garlic salt that we have with it too, and we're doing jamon serrano. So it's essentially a 3-course, 3-part meal essentially. So that'll be fun to launch January. We actually just added a 17th gourmet smoke session. So this is
congratulations.
There you go.
We'll be doing 2 gourmet smoke sessions in July of 2021 to celebrate America. We've added our friends at Jack Schwartz Importers, jackschwartz.com. We'll be doing a great session with Jack Schwartz in July, and we'll have 2 of those to celebrate in our independence in July. So there will be 17 sessions. We just added the 17, so we're looking forward to that.
Very exciting.
Congrats, John. That's we already kind of touched on it earlier, but the gourmet smoke sessions, I think, is trending to a bigger hit than you anticipated, and it's it's a great idea. It's been very successful. We've done a really good job with that. Proud of you for it. Just want to throw that out there.
And if you
Yeah,
love cooking, you should absolutely partake.
yeah,
Yeah, and also
definitely,
in
definitely
2021,
get
we're also
involved.
launching a series of gourmet sessions with Crowned Heads as well. We'll be finalizing that in January, and we'll be announcing that in the first quarter of the year. We'll be doing hopefully 6 sessions with Crowned Heads, and it'll be a different
Nice.
concept than the gourmet smoke sessions that we've been doing with LFD, but it'll be something unique and something innovative and really enjoyable. We're going to try to add an entertainment portion to it as well, other than just us being entertaining. So that'll be something fun we're doing in 2021 with Crowned Heads.
Yep. We're really excited for that. If you do enjoy cooking as well, please check out Hacking Gourmet, the gourmet smoke sessions. Get involved. I was there on hand for one of the gourmet smoke sessions. Was it gourmet number 2? One of 2
It was
guys?
actually number 1.
That was number 1?
Yeah, we
Couldn't remember.
had a test episode we did with our friends at Tobacco Leaf in Maryland, and then our official first session was with 2 Guys Smoke Shop in Salem.
Okay, that's what it was. Because I remember you had already done one, but okay. But yeah, I was there for that. Got to be a part of that. That was a great time.
Well,
I definitely would recommend being involved. Whether you can go to the events or you follow along online, you should really check that out.
well, maybe in 2021 we can do a special Hacking Gourmet Smokin Tabacco cook along with our guests. We'll see.
Hey, good ideas.
I know.
I don't really have anything. I think I've covered everything I wanted to say tonight, and I think
Don't
too,
worry,
you guys.
2020 is almost over, folks. 2021 will
One
be
more day.
brighter skies.
Yep.
One more day. One more day. And next week, we'll see you on January 6th, same time, same place. And we will have Mr. William Cooper with us.
William Cooper with us, but we'll also be doing some. It will be somewhat brief, but we will be doing something special next week, either Monday or Tuesday. I will be down at Arturo Fuente in Tampa for the
Ooh.
Tobacconists Association of America
Yes.
board meeting, and we're looking to try to get some sit-down time with any of the Fuentes, but specifically Liana. We'll be doing a little brief sit-down with her, hopefully to talk about the rare pink. So that's in the works, and I said I'll be there next week in Tampa. So hopefully we can sit down with Liana and do some streaming here on Smokin Tabacco. So if you see it pop up randomly during the day, it means I got it to happen, and we're making it happen. So stay tuned early next week for some Fuente stuff.
Yeah, we'll try to give you guys heads up if we can. If not, just keep an eye out for it. It's something you don't want to miss.
But we are completely booked for the first 2 months of 2021 with guests for Smokin Tabacco. So stay tuned. We have some great people coming on.
We do. We have some good people. We've announced some of them. I don't think we announced all of them, but
No, not yet. But
it's a fun lineup, and we're booking every week. So
yep.
just stay tuned. It's going to be a wild ride next year. We have a lot in store.
Yep.
So
Well,
that's it.
cheers to 2021. Salute.
Cheers.
I got water, but cheers. I didn't have time to grab a glass of an alcoholic beverage. I was trying to get myself prepared. But all right, guys, we're going to let you go. Thank you for watching with us. Thank you for being part of us this year. And we'll see you next year in 2021. See you guys.
Bye, everyone.